Welcome to this week's HawkTalk. I kicked Parker out for the time being because we've got both of our Dickinson State softball coaches in-house ready to take us through what's going to be an exciting weekend for them. But before we get there, last time we talked to you, Coach, the problem was we were splitting every day, every conference doubleheader. That problem has subsided a little bit, taken 3 of 4 these last couple of series. So since we've last talked to you, what growth have you seen from your squad since that Valley City series?
Well, I think just as a whole, grew tremendously as a team. We talked about last time how we break up our season in kind of preseason, conference, and then postseason. And, obviously our preseason wasn't what we wanted it to be. Our goal for our conference was to get some momentum, start playing better softball to prepare us for the conference tournament. And I think we've got there. We didn't get over that hump on a sweep of a team, but it's tough to beat a team 4 times in a weekend. You see the same pitchers over and over and things like that. But, the team is they've come together. We're playing defense. Our pitchers are giving us a chance to win games. And, in the games we did lose, a hit here or there changes the outcome of the score. So we're really happy with the way the teams have come, the way the team has come along, and we're excited about going into the conference tournament.
Speaking of the team coming along, last weekend, your senior leadoff hitter was basically on base every time she walked in. What type of role have the leaders, the seniors, and even your assistant coach who are used to this program having success, what kind of role have they played in pulling along and letting those other girls know what DSU softball tradition is? You
talk about Mackenzie Kanabi, our leadoff batter, and she, she's our spark at the top of our lineup, the first inning, the first game. If she gets on, typically we have a chance to score a run. Yep. She's quick. She uses her defense. She's been tremendous all year for us, leading the conference in batting average, steals, things like that. So when you have a kind of a triple threat kid like that, you hope that the other players kind of feed off of her, which I think they have done. And, in talking about my assistant coach here, Janelle Laurent, kind of her first season as a full-time assistant coach, she played the role as a 4-year starter for us. Mm-hmm. I know her freshman year probably was one of our not most successful years in school history, sure. But, she stuck with it. And by the time it was her senior year, we're finishing 10th in at the World Series. So she's seen all sides of the program. And I think she can use those examples and those experiences to help this program because some of the struggles we've had this year. And Janelle's done a great job with our pitching staff. She's taken them in. She's helped them understand the importance and the difference of, maybe high school pitching and junior college pitching to, pitching at the 4-year. And that you're not going to strike everybody batter out. You got to hit your spots. You got to keep the batters off balance and use your defense. And she's done a great job with that, working with not only the pitchers but the catchers as well, and calling the games. And so, that's a huge attribute to our success this last couple months. And, so kudos to you, Coach Nelly.
Thanks.
What's been the biggest transition from getting to play every day to having a different type of impact on the team?
Well, as a coach, I want to be out there all the time and I want to help them with their success, but instead of playing, I can do it in a different way and help them through my experiences and telling them, I understand where you're coming from, but when you make a mistake, it's easier to just let it go than to worry about what we think, even though we are here for you to push you along. Those little things.
Do you have any moments where you think back to maybe as a freshman or sophomore when Coach Fleury was getting on you and kind of how you took that either positively or negatively and use that to kind of try to be the middleman when Coach Fleury gets a little upset with a mistake or two in the field?
We are on air right now.
Yeah, well, I've had my fair share of mistakes for sure. But I think from the difference between my freshman and senior year is my freshman year, if I made an error, I would look over at her and be like, oh, what is she thinking about me?
Coming.
My senior year, I was like, I made a mistake. It is what it is. I just got to move on from it. So
with this weekend coming up, the North Star is kind of all over the place in terms of softball. Very few sweeps across the board by anybody. Bellevue coming in with 6 or 7 losses, winning the conference regular season. What can fans expect from what's been an upside down, topsy-turvy league coming into a crazy environment where you got to win a lot of games in a lot of days to come out on top?
I think it was a month ago we talked and we said this is how it was going to be, and it's pretty much anybody's tournament, I guess, per se, and it's kind of exciting because for us, for having maybe a down year, what we would consider a down year, we can still go in there with some confidence and knowing that we still have an opportunity to compete against these teams and, win this thing. Bellevue loses 3 out of 4 from Viterbo the week before we played them. We take 3 out of 4 from them. So it's just, it's going to be who shows up, who has the better pitching, who has a better offense, and who has a better defense,
Sure.
All part of the game. And so I think it's going to be a great tournament. There's some great teams in here. It's fun that everybody has a equal opportunity. I guess you always have an equal opportunity, but the competition level is very, very much the same, and so it's going to be exciting. We open up with Valley City, and conference championship game from last year, and so rematch from last year, and we open up with them, and we just got to focus on what we have to do, and our kids, I think they're excited to play at home. I hope they're excited to play at home, have an opportunity to play, in front of a home crowd, sleep in your bed at night, don't have to travel. And I think that's going to be one of our advantages, and we got to use it and, just see what happens.
What was your favorite memory from the conference tournaments of past? I know they had a different format. Some of those were a hodgepodge of teams from Montana and North Dakota. Some of them were North Star. But what was your favorite memory from the playing days?
I think just seeing all the teams come out with so much passion, and you see a different passion in the conference tournament than you do in regular conference play. So just the energy level, I think, was the difference in memory for me.
So we start Friday with the 2 4-team double elimination tournaments, essentially running independently, and no matter what happens, there's going to be 2 teams that come out of those. Their win-loss record will be flushed down the toilet. They'll play a 3-game championship series. So hypothetically, Blue Hawks will be playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and potentially Monday. So where's the best place to follow along and make sure they know who's playing when they come to the ballpark?
Well, hopefully, we have it updated on the internet.
That's the plan.
The best place, obviously, would be to be at the ballpark. We actually start on field 4, so not the normal field that we play on. It's kind of across at the same complex, but we will start on Friday on field 4. Win or lose, we will stay on field 4 for that day. 1 o'clock start on Friday versus Valley City, and then again, win or lose. I know if we win, when we win, we will be at 5. I'm not sure what time if we lose, so obviously just looking ahead, trying to move forward in the tournament. But then after that, like I said, the best place to be, is to be at the field and follow the bracket right there at the complex. Or again, I know Rod from KDIX is going to be doing the Blue Hawk games live on the radio, and we also will have live streams. So absolutely,
make sure you check it out starting Friday, but follow the Blue Hawks as long as they make it. It's been an exciting year. It's fun to see the different challenges you guys have gone through, but for the most part overcome, and see if we can wrap it all together with a win at home in the North Star tournament. Ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We'll be back to hear about the baseball side of the conference tournament coming up this weekend as well. All right, we're back on HawkTalk. I exchanged both of the softball coaches for a familiar face in Parker Robinson, and probably a familiar face if you've been around Blue Hawk or Dickinson High School athletics in the last 7 years. Dylan Skabo, go ahead and introduce yourself if I haven't already.
I'm Dylan Skabo.
Junior?
Yep, junior football, baseball player here at DSU.
Majoring?
In accounting.
Oh, He's got a boring school life, but exciting field life.
Yeah.
Now, Dylan, I understand that you took home an award last night. Why don't you tell the folks about that?
Yeah, I was awarded with the TR Scholar of the Year last night at our actually in the afternoon yesterday at our TR luncheon. I mean, it was a great honor. Yeah.
We've had a lot of TR folks on, so that just shows you how great of a guest we have in Skabo, because he was put above the rest of them. But Dylan, let's get into some baseball. It's that time of the year again. How quickly has the year gone, and how's it been for yourself?
Yeah, it's gone real quick. It feels like just yesterday we were in Arizona playing, our 10 games down there and just getting into the flow of things. And now it's conference tournament time, and it honestly feels like it just went by like that. But we're all super excited. We get Jamestown opening round on Friday, and what more can you ask for? Getting Jamestown over our rivals and the opening round of the conference tournament.
Absolutely. Now, throughout the year, you've kind of bounced around the 1-2 spot in the lineup. Talk about the difference between them, and kind of your, I don't know if I want to say your preference in case Coach Wath gets a little frustrated,
yeah.
but what just the different dynamic of being lead off?
My 3 years here, I've traditionally hit 2, and this year we kind of have been slumping a little bit with our lineup, so we tweaked it a little bit, and I got bumped up to the 1 spot. The 1 spot, you really want to be more patient, see a lot of pitches, get that pitcher deep in the counts. And then the 2 spot, it's a lot more pressure off you if that leadoff guy gets on, because then really all I have to do is drop down a bunt, which I really enjoy.
That's
Yeah, and then my preference is probably 2, just because it's a lot easier.
Yeah, and growing up here in Dickinson, you've had a chance to play at the ballpark here for quite a few years in a row now.
Yeah.
What's it like playing in high school here and then kind of transitioning into college?
It was really nice transitioning into college, just the familiarity with the field. I played on that field for 9 years now, and just seeing the transition from dirt to turf, and then just being like around the state, other fields that have dirt, just you know how special it is to have turf, and it's just really nice. Yeah.
With you mentioned the bunting, just go into how that kind of became your go-to, if we want to call it your go-to, but you're a very good bunter. So just take us through the evolution of Dylan Skabo as a bunter.
Well, I've always been fairly quick, so bunting has always kind of been in my arsenal of what I can do, and I just kind of refined it in college. Just BP on the field during practice and stuff, we're always working on bunting, and I've gotten really good at laying it right down that third baseline, right on the line, perfect or foul.
I knew the Winnipeg third baseman he was playing about 60 feet in.
Yeah.
How much does that impact it, and does that open up things? Try to get crafty with the bat, try to loop it over his head, sort of things.
It absolutely opens things up. If that third baseman's, playing 60 feet in from me, that makes that 6-hole a lot bigger, and all I really got to do is slap it through. I really like playing with third baseman's head. I was really in that Winnipeg guy's head. It's a lot of fun.
Now, baseball not the only thing you do, obviously, with football as well. At what point did you kind of decide you wanted to be a 2-sport athlete, and how has that process kind of evolved as you've gotten into college?
Senior year of football in high school, I had quite a bit of fun and a lot of success, and I was like, well, this is something I really like to do, and I think that was kind of the point where I was like, well, I think I could do football in college, and baseball has been like my number 1 love forever, and I've always wanted to do that growing up and further. And then it's really nice having 2 coaches that really understand the 2-sport thing. Like during the fall, it's football, and during the spring, it's baseball, and they really don't harass me when it's that sport. And hats off to the coaches for understanding.
So the big question is, who gets the summer?
Football.
Getting ready for.
Yep. Well, we lift and stuff during football, and just trying to get back into shape. And then I'm not completely outside of baseball. Like I coach and stuff, so I'm still around the game and stuff, throwing and hitting and stuff.
Absolutely. Now, when you decided to come stay a hometown kid, did you move into the dorms? How did you kind of make it feel like you were going to college when you were still in your hometown?
My first year here, I lived in the dorms, and I've never looked back. I love living with my parents, but that freedom of college,
just a really nice facility.
Yeah,
state of the art.
Yep,
It
exactly.
feels like you're living in a hill.
Yeah, well, I think living in the dorms is it really made it feel like college to me. I got to meet a bunch of friends that I wouldn't have met if I would have stayed at my parents' house, and just living in the dorms, I was like, yep, I'm in college.
Now, as you said, accounting. How did accounting become your go-to calling card and your future? I mean, that's it. If you're an accountant, that's what you're doing.
I've always been fairly good at math, and for the longest time I was like, oh, I want to be an engineer. And then I was like, probably not. And I took an accounting class in high school, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I think this is something I really want to do. And on one of my, not really visit, but I kind of came and talked to Dr. Dragseth and looked at the CPA, and I had the really nice facility up at the CPA, and it was just something I really enjoyed, and I thought the atmosphere of the accounting department here was awesome.
Yeah, and you have Scott Hansen, one of our favorite people
Yeah,
on campus.
absolutely.
Any favorite memories from any of his classes?
that we can show.
Yeah.
Family
I
television.
mean, just the way he teaches, it's just some of the stories he tells. I really like how he's done a lot of things, and he's got a lot of personal stories that he can tell, and it really drives the point home that this stuff is going to be useful in the future.
Do you buy all of the stories? Is there 100% buy-in when he gets going?
I'd say 50.
I got you, but you never know. That's what makes it
Exactly,
exciting.
yeah.
You mentioned being a numbers guy, baseball, analytics, all that. Does that impact your game at all? Are you sitting there crunching numbers when you're up there, or you just kind of let it flow?
No, I just kind of let it flow. Just out on the baseball field having fun. I'm not really thinking all that much. Just out there playing with my friends and stuff.
Definitely. Now, is Dickinson going to stay your home? What do you envision 10 years from now? What's the hometown kid still doing?
I think I could envision myself in Dickinson, but I think I'd honestly like to get out too. Just live somewhere else for a change. But I think if I get stuck here, it wouldn't be a bad thing. I really enjoy the area, the town.
Now we've got conference tournament, like you mentioned, starting with Jamestown. Freshman year, I have to imagine that was one of your fonder memories. It was certainly a fond memory for kind of the community that got behind the run you guys made in that tournament. What kind of memories do you have of that, and what are you hoping to accomplish this weekend and in the future?
I think one of the biggest memories from freshman year is when Jordan Tesher hit the grand slam against Jamestown to send them home. It was just kind of some karma for Jamestown for saying he's not good enough to play at the collegiate level, and it was just awesome seeing him succeed against his former team. And going into the conference tourney, we're hoping to win it all, but it's one game at a time. We're going in, trying to beat Jamestown, and then we'll look past that after.
And then football in the fall, we got to ask you, as long as we have you, what are you looking forward to in that?
Last year we had a really good year. Should have beat Tech. If we had another minute, we would beat them. This year we're hoping for the same thing. Hopefully home playoff game, which would be really nice. And then, getting into that second round of playoffs is really our goal. And then beyond that, winning some more.
Absolutely. Now, most importantly, how are you going to defend your TR Scholar of the Year award? I don't know if we've ever had a two-time TR Scholar of the Year. So do you have anything planned to put yourself ahead of the others?
I think the biggest thing is you got to really suck up to the SADs. I was in there all the time telling Dylan how great of a guy he is, and I really think that's why I won it this year. So, I really just got to suck up to Carissa and Logan, the new SADs, and keep involved. I think just sucking up is probably one of the biggest things.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck with that, all your
Thank you.
endeavors, especially this weekend. Thanks for joining us, Dylan, and we'll be back to wrap up this edition of Hawk Talk. All right, folks, welcome back to Hawk Talk. It's a special Hawk Talk for me. It's my final Hawk Talk. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of put a little bit of a bow on it. Parker will be back next week to truly put a bow on it, but I will have since left. So first off, Parker, tell us about conference golf. I think you've got a couple different plaques with you to show how good of a year you had. So just take us through conference golf and what you won.
Yeah, we went out to La Crosse, Wisconsin. A bit of a trek, but nothing too bad. Coach O'Donnell's used to it with the wrestling schedule usually being that far. But really nice course there in La Crosse. Onalaska was the little neighborhood it was in. and they were super generous, donating the time of the course to the conference. And then, like you said, had a pretty decent showing. The first day shot a 79.
So you got to pick dinner.
So I got to pick dinner.
That was the stakes made on HawkTalk.
Yep. And then the following day, followed it up with an 85. Not as clean, but not too bad. And Zach Miller shot a 76 the second day to kind of bump up his total. So definitely a good showing for the golf team on both sides. Got some experience out there.
And Dylan Skabo wasn't the only one to bring home awards yesterday, as you've got two yourself. So why don't you show the folks what you won? The prestigious club you became a 2-time member of.
Yeah, we got most improved, which I won 2 years ago. So just so much improvement to be had.
As did I.
Yeah.
So whoever's going to host HawkTalk next year needs to be the most improved ESU golfer.
And then most valuable, voted on by the team. So definitely appreciate their generosity, I'd say, is kind of what it should be.
Allowing you to bring home both awards. All right, folks. So that does it for golf. We've got softball, baseball, rodeo. They're all still going. Track and field's still going. But like I said, this will be my last time here on HawkTalk. It's been a long, fun experience, not just with this HawkTalk, but with this entire Dickinson State venture. So I want to run off a list of thank yous. You can tune to a different channel if that doesn't do it for you. But first off, I want to thank my high school basketball coach, Jason Mountain. He kind of encouraged me at about 3 a.m. driving across the state of Nebraska. He said, I always have respect for the people who just left home. So instead of going to the University of Wyoming, coming to Dickinson State became an option. The golf coach at the time, Corey Farringer, now a rising junior college coach, doing great things. He was actually a golf coach when he recruited me. He just kept calling me, kind of pestering me, and I wasn't that good at golf. So I was like, if this guy cares that much about me being somewhere, maybe it's worth giving him a chance. Unfortunately, I never got the chance to work with him, but I did come here in part because of him, so I want to thank him. Coach O'Donnell, our golf coach, put up with me putting up some crappy scores, never made me feel too bad about my performance on the course, never chewed me out. Maybe he should have, maybe that would have helped things, but it allowed me to have a great experience, not just as a college athlete, but as basically a lot of different things at Dickinson State University. My time with Coach Orton as his basketball manager, that meant a lot to me, being taken into the team. I wanted to play basketball in college. My skill set made it clear that wasn't going to happen at about the 7th grade level. I was able to understand that college basketball was not in my future playing wise, but Coach Horton took me into the team, and then Coach Wetzel, who you've seen time and time again provide some of our best interviews on HawkTalk. He had allowed me to stay in that role and continue to help the team, so I want to thank those guys as well. Obviously, all of the coaches at Dickinson State have been open and willing to come on. We've had everybody, I do believe, on our show here at HawkTalk. We could talk about GSU sports together for a half hour every week, but at some point you guys would probably give up on what we are able to offer. So having the coaches and athletes cooperation has been great. The Dickinson State athletic department opened up their arms to us, but they only opened up to what we were able to do, which wasn't all that much until we started talking with the folks here at Consolidated in Dickinson, North Dakota. Totally opened the doors to us, allowed us to do amazing things, made us look like we don't look like idiots, and that's frankly because we got Ron Rhodes behind the camera. He's doing everything. He's got the graphics. He's making it look like we're in Bristol, Connecticut, coming to you live from SportsCenter. It's just here in Dickinson, North Dakota, but their generosity has allowed us to create a show that really provides credibility to the work we're trying to do, and for that we're incredibly thankful. Obviously, the Dickinson State Heritage Foundation gave me a job, allowed me to do something after graduation until I found my place for graduate school. I'll be attending the University of Massachusetts, but before I left, I know a lot of you follow us along. I wanted to say goodbye. I wanted to say thank you for allowing us to come into your homes on Thursday evenings, allow us to bring you coverage of the sports on the website, however you tune into us, however you follow us. We appreciate your support. The university, I appreciate their support. And Parker, it's been a heck of a ride coming on here each and every week. It's been a blast. I really appreciate all of this experience and what we've been able to do, bringing credibility to Dickinson State University and especially the athletic department. So Ron, thank you for all of your work behind the camera. It's awesome to have someone who can take us to that next level. Parker, best of luck with everything going forward. Finding a replacement shouldn't be too hard, but it's been a true pleasure. I just want to leave you with one last Hawks are up.